let's talk about fountain pens. This is going to be completely random. We're going to start out with as you can see, I have a very diverse collection. These are my expensive pens. These are the ones that I use the least. And I'm going to do this just randomly. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about them. I don't think I'm going to do any writing demos or anything, but I'm just going to take you through them just as an overview. We'll start with this. This is a Sailor Demonstrator. I think I paid over $250 for this. Again, it's got the converter inside. It's a very high-end pen. It's a good writer. It's not great for drawing, and if I drop it and it lands on the nib, it's $300 in the garbage, pretty much. So I don't use it a lot, but you know, I had some disposable income at the time, and I was very interested in getting some high-end pens, and this was one of them, one of my first purchases. So there's that Sailor, and another expensive Sailor was this one here. These are all the smaller sized ones. They have larger ones, but they get into the $300-400 range. Again, this is 14 karat white gold. I don't think there's a converter with this one. They do these limited editions every year. This is one of them. Again, these are going back quite a few years. Japanese company. They make great pens. Again, good writers. The next company we'll look at is Pilot. And these are the 1233 series, the Pilot Platinum. I think they're called 233, 1233. Again, these are in the $200 range. Gold nibs. Nice pens, very straightforward, but good writers. Not great for drawing again, but you know, pens can be like jewelry. So I have two of those. There's a red one. These are just different nib sizes, different colors. Pretty straightforward. They make other high-end ones, but those two are what I have in reference to high-end Pilot pens. This is a bit of a rare one. It's called a Recife. I bought this many years ago before I even knew what really fountain pens were. This is what you call a barrel cartridge pen. It's a French company. It's not a bad writer. I don't use it a lot. And basically what you do is you just fill it with ink right up. It holds a ton of ink. Again, good writer, not so great for drawing. But one of the very first pens I bought back when bookstores used to sell pens. This is a more recent pen. This pen is not that expensive, but it looks expensive. I think it was $54. It's another Japanese no-name brand. A very good writer for what it is. You can find it on Amazon. I know I should be telling you the names of these, but I just want to take you through what I got here and give you a good idea of what's out there. So that's about $54 retail on Canadian on Amazon right now. This is a Conklin, which is a smaller company. This is an American company, this pen. I haven't used this pen a lot. Again, a very nice looking pen. Came with a converter. Obviously it's nice and clean. I haven't used it. Again, not used a lot. Bought this at a pen show in Toronto, at the Toronto Public Library. Just really like the look of it, I guess. Okay. Next one here is another, this is a Pilot. This is called a Pilot Falcon. This is a beauty. Again, very expensive. This is a Falcon nib, which is really good. It's kind of like a flex nib. This is a soft, I think it's an EF, which is extra fine. Japanese pens are a lot finer than the German ones in reference to their weight. This is a really great drawing pen. It can handle carbon ink or any kind of waterproof ink. It doesn't really botch up very much. Really nice pen. Really good for drawing and writing. Beautiful, actually. Very expensive. Again, terrified to take it out in the field, urban sketch with it, because if I drop it, it's over. Another Pilot. This one is a broad nib. Another really good pen for inking. A pretty stiff nib. I think it's called a music nib. I can't remember the name of it. Again, what happened was I ordered this on Amazon. I ordered a Pilot Falcon, and they sent me this by mistake. This is a custom 812, it's called. You know, I ended up keeping it and ordering another Falcon. So go figure. So those are pretty much all of my super expensive pens. You You know, there are more that you can spend a lot more money on. But for me, $200-300 is a lot of money for a pen. I don't plan on buying any more expensive pens. The final expensive one that I'll show you is this. This is a Pelikan pen, and it's a German company, Pelikan. I can't remember the model of this. This is the base model. It's a cartridge pen, or there's no cartridge, it's just a barrel. You squeeze, you twist this, and it fills the barrel up. This is one of the few German pens beyond Lamy's that I own, and this is by far one of the best writing and drawing pens that I have. It never dries out. It has a beautiful feel, nice and small in the hand. Really, really great pen. I think it's $210, $240. I don't know, it's expensive, but a real beauty. These are very, very popular with urban sketchers and sketchers. So it's probably my favorite. This and the Falcon are probably my favorite. So that's kind of a synopsis of the high-end stuff, just to show you that I am somewhat of a serious collector. Now let's get into the lower-end stuff and just go through it at random. First company I'll talk about is Noodlers. Noodlers make a lot of ink and they make a lot of pens. Their pens are not high-end. You can buy them for pretty reasonable prices. They all completely disassemble into many, many pieces. They are not for the faint of heart, and they are not for the non-experienced fountain pen type person. These pens are hardcore, meaning they're gonna leak, they're gonna bloat, they're gonna bubble, they're gonna crash out on you all the time. Expect to have some serious blue, black, whatever color thumbs using them. They have flex nibs, which are really cool nibs. You can see there's a split right up the middle. They have all these really interesting piston systems. I have usually them coated with lubricant to keep them sealed. You can see this is already falling off, this thing here. These pens completely disassemble and then reassemble so you can wash them out. A really amazing company, an American company. I know we're not loving America right now, but it's not their fault, I guess. Let's not get political, but these pens are really fun. But like I said, not for the faint of heart. There's different names. I think this is an Ahab. I can't remember the names of them, and it doesn't really matter. If you want to look at Noodler, just go to their website. Probably better to buy them from your local retailer. Amazon, they're a little bit overpriced, or directly from the site. You can see I've interchanged these. This was all yellow, and I mixed it with the demonstrator colors. So there's these two. I think they're called Ahabs. They're kind of the mainstream version. This pen here is a little bit different. It is an Ahab, but it doesn't have the internal parts. I've got the barrel filled with ink. So again, it's just sealed with the sealant that I have. And if I screw this off, I just fill the barrel with ink, so it's a full load. Great for drawing, great expressive line weights. You know, really interesting pens, but again, very, very temperamental. Here's another one. This is another cartridge pen. These are older, cheaper versions. This just has a piston type barrel. Pretty much all the same nibs. Some of the nibs would flex a bit more than others. But if I leave these with ink in them, they'll bubble and burst. Don't take them on an airplane. If they're filled, put them in a baggie. You know, here's another one. This one is another just smaller version of this piston. I think this is the first one I bought. So they range in price. They're very, very affordable. But again, these pens are for people that want to get their hands dirty, that want to mess around, and like they're very labor intensive. They're kind of, if you're into tinkering with pens and tinkering with inks and stuff, they also make a super line of inks. So they're a fun, interesting kind of part of the hobby. You know, 2 or 3 of them will do you, and their inks go along with it. The next pens I'll talk about is, let's talk about some German pens beyond the Pelikan. I have a few Lamys. Now, the Lamys are kind of all one-trick ponies, I find. There's different versions and different levels of them. The Safari, you know, they make them in different colors, different types of materials, but they're all basically the same pen. As an illustrator, I think that the Lamy Joy is probably one that you should look into if you're getting a Lamy. I find that their nibs are a little bit more temperamental if you want to use waterproof inks. Their nibs are wider. This is an extra fine nib, which a lot of the pens don't come with. You have to kind of buy them extra. This is a good pen for drawing. It's fun because of the extended length of it. It's kind of a very popular one. They sell a calligraphy version for I think 38 bucks on Amazon. You can get this in that version, and then you could switch it to nib, but it's going to cost you a bit. They also come in kits. Here's a demonstrator of a safari. Again, just a straightforward. This is a medium nib. These are good. You know, I have a lot of cartridges for these. They're very affordable, but like I said, they don't take waterproof ink well. They'll handle it. A lot of people use them. I just find that they dry out quick, or they dry up a lot faster. This is a more high-end Lamy. This I bought at the Amsterdam airport. Again, a medium nib, just a straightforward type pen, but I think it's brushed aluminum. I don't use it much. This was one of the business writers I had, again, before I was really into fountain pens. This is a nice compact writer. As a writer with using water-based inks, they work real well. But for drawing, I don't know, they're comme ci comme ça. But as you can see, I've got lots of those. They're all the same. You know, this one has a black tip. They're kind of like, you can buy them for cosmetic reasons or trendy reasons, or weak moments when you're at a stationery store and you see something that grabs your eye. So those are Lamy. Not bad. You know, you should always have one in your collection if you're into it. Here's a random one that I bought in New York City many years ago. The name of the company is Levenger. I'm not sure if they're still around. It's a really nice body, this pen. Again, this is primarily a writer. I think it's just a stainless steel nib. Again, I haven't used it much. One of the pens that just caught my eye. You're out on vacation and you want to bring something home. This was it. But it still stays in my collection. Once in a while I'll load it with red ink or whatever and use it. It's a good pen. Let's talk a little bit more about some low-end Sailor pens. Here's three here that, that's a Pilot, but these two are Sailor. These are interesting pens. This is the Sailor Fude. If you're into drawing or sketching, you know what a Fude nib is. Fude is, I guess, Japanese for a brush nib. This nib is bent. This is a very popular pen. I think it's $23 or $24. I find it clogs up quite a bit with carbon ink or a waterproof ink, so I've recently cleaned it and I'm going to try using it at length to see if it's just because I haven't been using it enough, if it works and flows well. So I'll probably ink it up today and take it out in the field and give it a go. So there's this Sailor Fude, again, low end, $23 or something Canadian. This one too is another one I think that's pretty affordable, a little nicer design. This is kind of an uglier pen. This again is Sailor, and it's the same, I think the same nib. Again, I haven't given it much use. I don't have a converter for this. They don't come with converters. Usually you got to buy them extra if you want to put specific inks in. If you're into water-based cartridges, then you'll find you can use Sailor cartridges. But those are both pretty interesting, good for different variable line weights, and very popular with sketching. A couple of random Pilots. This Pilot, I'm not sure the name of. This one is a very interesting one. I'm not sure if you can still find it anywhere. This is a great fine liner and great pen for drawing. And then the Metropolitan, which is a staple. This is kind of their go-to, their popular kind of pen. It's very good. Again, I'm not using it a lot, but Pilot make good pens. This one here, I'm not sure of the name of it, but a very portable pen. Very, very good. This type of pen I do not have a converter for, but what I do is I flush out the cartridges and then I can put other ink in them with a syringe with an end on it. It's got a metal tube. So I syringe fill plastic cartridges for pens like this. This is a great pen for detail. You can see how super fine it is. I'm not sure where you can find it. Sorry, I don't know the core name of it, but if you're into pens, the fun is tracking them down. This one too is another very cheap, affordable pen. I bought this at Wonder Pens in Toronto. I can't remember. Just kind of like a student grade pen. I don't think that the converter or the nib is as good as what's on the Metropolitan. I'm sure it's just stainless, but you can see there's water in here. What I do is when I wash my pens, if I have a converter or I have cartridge on them, I'll put water in the cartridge to keep them a little more fluid and flush it out. But I'm going to ink them up. So there's those. the next thing I'll talk about is this. This pen is a Japanese pen, and it's somewhat expensive. You can find it on Amazon. I think it was $60 or $70, and this is a brush pen. But this is a very, very, very good brush pen. One of the ones that you kind of graduate to. It's a cartridge-based pen. Hiratake or something is the name of it. So this is kind of a graduate to this pen here, which is a Pentel brush pen. If you don't know a lot about brush pens, you don't want to spend a lot of money, these Pentels are great. They're really good. They come with these big cartridges, and I'm not sure whether the ink is water soluble or not. I think it is, which is kind of unfortunate. But these are great pens for doing comic line art and stuff like that, or just if you want to get into brush pens, you could start with these and then get into these. You can go higher priced for these too, but this is about as far as I go with the brush pens. I'm not a big brush pen fan. Next thing I'll talk about these. I think this is Rotring. This is another German company. Now these pens are old. I think they're still available. They're art pens. They're kind of a straight drawer. This is an extra fine. Again, these are cartridge based. I don't think I have any converters for these. I'm sure you can buy them because they just take the standard kind of cartridges. They're good drawing pens, not flexible. The nibs are very, very stiff, but they're out there, and they're kind of like, they kind of emulate the Lamy Joy, the way the shape of them. Okay, the next family of pens I'll talk about are TWISBI, and I do like TWISBIs a lot. They're kind of a good mid-range starting range. This is called the TWISBI Go, and I think it's their entry level. And this is a real kind of rough and ready pen, but a great pen, good drawer, stiff nib, stiff stainless steel nib. It's got this pump fill thing, which is kind of neat. You could shoot ink out at people if you got mad at them or whatever. It's pretty funny. But these are neat. All their nibs kind of have the same feel, the same action. They have different widths. I think I prefer the fine. Again, this is a Japanese company. This is their kind of entry-level pen. They make a TWISBI, this is a TWISBI Go, and they make a TWISBI Echo, which is kind of one up from this. And then you get into the higher end ones. This is the TWISBI Mini, and this pen is built like a, I don't know, it's just a really solid build. These are all piston pens, so you turn this and then the ink draws up into them and out of them. Again, they completely disassemble. Most of these pens come with a little wrench and some lube for the threads and stuff, but this is a mini. And again, these pens rarely dry out. They take the carbon inks and the waterproof inks really well. This is the sides of it, and then if you extend it for drawing, it's like that. The nibs are relatively stiff, but they're great. They're great pens for just a standard line width. And again, this is $60-$70, built like built like a tank, and a little more comfortable taking these out in the field. They don't have a lot of flexibility, but they're great pens. They're nice and small. They're heavy. They got a good weight to them. This one is the TWISBI Diamond 580. Again, a very popular model, kind of the Cadillac model. I think this is going for about $125. I think it was $80 when I bought it. Again, the big piston holds a lot of ink. Really nice looking pen. Comes apart for full disassembly and washing and keeping it maintained. And again, you can buy interchangeable nibs for it. But the finishing on these pens are really nice. So that's kind of the lineup. Here's another really great pen. It's the Pilot Kakuno, and this is a very popular pen with illustrators and urban sketchers. Super cheap, super great fine nib, real workhorse pen. Buy it for $12, $14 on Amazon. It's a really great addition to your bag. If you don't, you can drop it, lose it. You're not gonna start crying if it goes missing. And then finally, the one I always talk about, my piece de resistance, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, is the Pilot Preppy. These pens are $6 to $12. There's different versions of them, but for me, the Preppy is my super favorite workhorse. The extra fine nib, they come in different colors. They come with a cartridge, but the cartridge is not the carbon black ink, which is the waterproof one. But the waterproof inks in these work great. These are great for traveling. They're great on the airplane. They never explode. They're super good pens, super reliable, great urban sketching pens, so I can't recommend those enough. I bought other versions of them. This here is a platinum. It's the same kind of structure, but you know, they just don't seem to function as well. Maybe I'm just more attuned to the preppy. This is just kind of an upgrade, I think, of the body. I think the core is a bit different. Maybe not. It looks exactly the same, actually. But I just find that the preppies are the best kind of bang for your buck. And for urban sketching, like these, I have like, these are everywhere. They're in every bag. I just keep buying them, and then, you know, they break. A lot of them, I over tighten them and they crack here. This one's, I think, no, this one's brand new. So this is how it comes. See, the pink one comes with the pink ink. And like I said, go for the O2 if you can, the extra fine, but it's very subjective. Anyway, so that's a quick lineup. I know I didn't really get into details of you know, where to buy, what it is, what the names are and all that, but I just thought I'd do a quick rundown. It's for someone who's maybe getting interested in fountain pens and doesn't really know what's out there, or, you know, wants to just have a quick overview. There you go. So hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.